describe them. And I stood up there and looked at him, and it's like,
I just couldn't hold it anymore, and I was like, oh my gosh, I was a chupacabra. I was so excited.
They were referring to Bigfoot.
There are voices in the darkness. The reason why the show is called Drunken Cryptids.
And welcome back to another episode of the Drunken Cryptids. I do want to say thank you to everybody out there that's been liking and commenting and sharing our content. It's greatly appreciated. We see you out there, so kudos. Thank you very much. Real quick shout out though to blademedia.com. Dylan over there at Blade Media. They're the ones who set up the website for us. He did a great job. Dylan's great. He's local. He's a small town guy, and he's just his own small business. And I'm all a fan about supporting small businesses, and Dylan did a great job. Check out our website if you want an example, or just go to his website at blademedia.com. Blade is BLAYED media.com. Dylan, man, I appreciate it. And of course, I got to give a shout out to my team. I'm not where I'm at today, and the success that I have today isn't just due to me. I've been truly blessed to have a good team that surrounds me. I can't say enough about them. If you listen to the show, I do talk about them, and I brag about them. And to my team out there, you guys are amazing, and thank you so very much for the support. It's a great ride, and we're only getting crazier, you guys. So buckle up and have a good time. Events coming up, though. I am going to be speaking at the Ozark, in Ozark, Arkansas, at the town hall meeting on February 8th, put on by the Arkansas Bigfoot Cartel. We're going to be at the Paradise Pizza there in Ozark. It's going to be a great show. I'm going to be there. Well, for the town hall meeting, I'm going to be there. Todd Neese is going to be there. Again, the Arkansas Bigfoot Cartel is putting it on. There will be expeditions going on that weekend as well, so you'll have a chance to partake. There's a campground right there by there. If you need more information, feel free to email us. If you want to camp out and go on an expedition, go ahead, do that. We'll get you taken care of. We get all the information you need. Also, the big news is that we are going to do a live show on April 5th with the Cryptids of the Corn guys from Ohio. They're coming here to Arkansas. We're going to be at the Old Bart's at Diamond Bear Brewery here in North Little Rock. It's going to be a great time. It's on April 5th. It's going to be from 5 p.m. until 9 p.m. We're going to have the full menu there at Old Bart's. You can get a Drunken Cryptid cheeseburger. You want to try it, I promise. We're going to do a show. They're doing a show. It's a meet and greet as well. You get a chance to ask us questions. Doing the episode, you'll be able to ask questions as well, so you'll be able to be on the show possibly, which will be a lot of fun. Come out, hang out with us. It's kid-friendly, so bring the kids. We're all going to be there. My team's going to be there. Justin and Jay are going to be there from the Crypts of Corn. And there might be some other podcasters coming through as well to hang out. So you never know who's going to be there. I do have a special guest coming, and you definitely want to get a chance to meet and greet him. I can promise you that. Other than that, that's what we have for the rest of the year. Other expeditions I will be going on later on as the year goes, and once we get more, dates solidified and everything, I'll keep you guys up to date on. But again, I do want to say thank you so very much for sharing everything and liking us and following us. I know the intros can go kind of long, so I'll cut it short here in a second. But just remember, we do have a Patreon as well. The Patreon does help us out. That's how we keep this thing going. I do love the show. There's other episodes on there. There's 3 different tiers. The links are posted below if you want to go ahead and become a Patreon member. You get a chance to visit with us more, doing Discord, stuff like that. We'll have a lot of fun. You might even get a chance to hang out at the tavern, but you'll definitely get a chance to go on some expeditions with us if you're close by. If not, if we're in an area and you're there, you're going to get a chance to do it. Again, thank you to the team. Thank you to everybody liking and sharing us. However, if you've had an encounter, and it doesn't matter, you may think it may be nothing, you may think it may be something, email us, drunkencryptids@gmail.com. Shoot us an email, we'll go over it, we'll reach out to you, talk to you, we get you on the show. The more content we get out there, the more people that are going to listen to the show, the more people we can reach, and your story may help somebody out. I love hearing that this person's episode helped them out with this issue or made them feel better about what they had gone through, So you have no idea that your encounter may actually help somebody out. Just saying. And to the fans out there, you guys have been loyal all the way through from day one. I appreciate you. I see it. I enjoy seeing you guys at the events. I do. Eli, shout out to you right there, buddy. I just want to say thanks again. It was a pleasure meeting with you and talking with you. You and me are going to talk some more off air about some of your encounters and such. And the same thing, if you guys have had an encounter and you don't want to go on the air, email it to us. We'll talk about it. We'll do an episode based upon your encounter. We'll just kick around some ideas, kind of like a roundtable thing. There will be some more roundtable discussions coming up. I can promise you that with some other podcasters. We have that in the works. There'll be some more meet and greets in the area as well. We just had a great one recently. It was a lot of fun. Gonna definitely be doing that again. So keep listening. Keep checking the Facebook page for all the dates of everything. And yeah, I'll tell you guys what. Let's get on with the show. And welcome back to another episode of the Drunken Cryptids. And I'm your host, Matthew, and I have a great guest coming on tonight. Her name is Lena. And Lena, we happened to meet at the Censored Monkey meet and greet, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
And I'm not going to lie, I had a good time. Fred, you guys up there, I appreciate it. Y'all put on a great... I had a lot of fun. I'm not gonna lie. And I don't get out a lot, so it was really neat for me to get out and get a chance to get some more encounters in and meet some other folks. But again, Fred, thank you very much for putting that on and helping us out with it. Eli, shout out to you, buddy. Eli drove all the way down about an hour or so to come down and see us. So thanks, Eli, for coming down, and thank you, Eli, for buying a T-shirt too. Appreciate that. But Lena, so. We met and you had so much to say, and I felt bad that I wasn't able to focus. You know what I mean? And I hate it. I was being pulled in a million directions at one time. So, and I felt bad, but you stuck around and you sat at the round table that we had.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite parts of the evening was the round table.
Sitting and listening to different stories and and different views on things. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking at one point we should have recorded that, and then I was like, no, this is more natural, and I want to be able to let everybody get a chance to talk and share some knowledge and some theories and such. So, but you had like so many. You shared the picture. I mean, Nick shared a picture as well. Thank you for emailing the picture, by the way. Tommy was wanting that, and I told him as soon as I talked to you that I would ask you for it, but you sent it in the email, so thank you very much for doing that.
You're very welcome.
I do appreciate it. But I'm going to turn it over to you. You've got a lot, and we're probably not going to be able to cover everything in one setting. And if we're not able to, you'd be willing to come back for a part two?
Oh, yes, most definitely.
All right, good. Because there's so much. And at one point, I'm probably going to jump in with it because I think these little things are messing with me, and I mess with them back. And I think we've got this really weird relationship together now. And so, yeah, when we get to there, we'll talk about that. So,
all righty.
Sounds good. I kind of make fun of them, and I think they do the same thing to me. They broke one of my coffee cups.
They what?
They broke one of my coffee cups.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was in my hand, no lie. And I was outside drinking coffee. And you know how you have that little bit of coffee at the bottom left when you're done?
Yeah.
And I went to, toss it. You know how you shake your cup out, right?
Right. Yeah.
The whole cup went flying except for the handle.
They did something like that the other day to me.
See, little conniving.
Mine was my Fox cup. Mine was my favorite Fox coffee mug, and broke the handle off of it. Cup went flying.
Yep.
Me holding the handle in my hand, going, "Wait a minute, what just happened?"
Yeah, that's what happened to me. So, all right. So the show is yours. The floor is yours, Miss Lena. Take it away.
Okay. All right. Well, I've had experiences my whole life, but several stand out. It's the one that when I went to board camp, and I'd gotten invited to go to a sacred crystal dig with some individuals that know Orville and Cheryl. up there at board camp, and it's it's a crystal. It's a crystal mining site, crystal dig, in Hot Springs area, and actually, no, it's not in the Hot Springs area. I take that back. I'm sorry. It's more or less closer to Talamina and the Mena area. So it's along that Talamina Ridge. So pretty much close to the Oklahoma border, Arkansas-Oklahoma border. But I'd gotten invited out there to a crystal dig, and out there, board camp, there's no machinery. They're not allowed to have machinery dig up like most of the other crystal mines that are in the Hot Springs area and stuff. All of it has to be hand dug. You can have a shovel. I think their limit is something like 15 buckets a day of crystals that you can take off the property. And we were also taken on a tour of the area, tour of the land, and Orville, great guy, Cheryl, a wonderful woman. Definitely someplace I would say, hey, y'all can check it out. Yeah, in Arkansas, go check it out. But they take us and they tell us the stories about how the land has been blessed and stuff by the chiefs of several of the Native American tribes that are local to the areas. And so we go back and we get there, and the first thing they do, is introduce themselves, tell them, and take us up to the crystal dig area. And it's just this little spot that they had several rains, come through. So some of the crystals, you could literally walk out there and see them on the top of the ground. And I want to say it was around October time frame is when we went. So it was starting to get cool. And I had completely brought the wrong clothes. And yeah, when you go digging in mud, you definitely would need to have some kind of clothes on that is not, and it just happened to be cold. And I am layered up, got everything that I brought with me on so that I could stay warm. Brought the wrong shoes, had tennis shoes on, white tennis shoes. They ended up becoming clay red, the color of them now. But I get to digging, and I kept, because one of the reasons why I got invited was because I'm an energy, I can feel energies and stuff. And I'm also a good tracker, I can, find a mycelium trail all through, which mycelium is mushrooms, fungi.
I have so many comments about, I cut the fun guy, so many things about mushrooms. I really do. Justin over there at Cribs the Corn has been digging into this mushroom thing for years and years and years. And he has, we've talked a lot about it. And he's kind of opened my mind up to. Oh,
they're amazing.
Exactly. And it's not just what you're going to go tripping on people. And, to saute your steaks with. I mean, there's so much about it's crazy. The largest living organism on the planet is a mushroom named Bob in the Pacific Northwest.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the old growth forest.
Yeah.
Old growth forest, yes. Paul Stamets, yes. Oh, I love it. I'm delved into mushrooms too, into the fungi and stuff, but not the psychedelic ones, but I do understand. I do know the psychedelic ones, but I'm also into the whole ones that are the natural healing ones that, turkey tail, lion's mane, reishi, cordyceps, all those wonderful ones.
Yep.
They do not take you on a magical carpet ride tour, journey. It doesn't do those, but it'll take you down a magical healing path. I can tell you that. So the, our sponsor, I guess you can say, is he was telling Orville about me, I guess. And he goes, oh yeah, she feels energies and stuff, and she feels called to things and stuff. So just try her out sometime. So here we get taken down to this one spot. We come down this spot and we're there digging crystals, and I keep hearing in my head like you got to find me. You got to find me, find me. Okay. So this is the fun part of my life. It's like I hear these things and I'm like, okay, I got to follow it. And I follow it. And I am literally got myself completely upside down in a hole that's already been dug in the ground to find crystal. Upside down, waist deep. Getting to this crystal. This one crystal that won't shut up. And it's like, find me. Okay, you're closer. And I'm upside down in this hole. And there's a picture floating around somewhere of me in this hole. I've yet to get somebody to give me that picture, but I would love to have that picture so I could actually put it with the crystal that I have.
That would be good. That would be good.
I finally got that crystal, and it is beautiful. I think I may have shown it to you that night. I did bring it with me.
I can't remember. I remember the picture. You showed me a picture, which we'll talk about later. I can't remember a crystal or not. And again, I do apologize. You may have, but I was pulled in so many different directions.
Oh, I know you were. I was. That's why I just kind of stood back and watched. And I was like, I'll get my time with him one day.
Well, thank you, and thank you for being patient.
Oh, that's my middle name. Actually, it should instead of May, it should be Patience, because that's what everybody says. She's so patient.
That's fun. Yeah, it's hilarious. But yeah, to everybody too that was there, you guys, thank you for being patient. And if you didn't get a chance to meet me, I apologize. Email me. We'll set something up. Okay, go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead, Crystal Lady. It's on you.
So I get this crystal, and I'm looking at it, and the first thing that comes about is I see this arch of rainbows in the crystal, and I'm like, whoa, this thing's got like 3 rainbows in an arch on this crystal, and it's like lighting up. It feels like it's like illuminating in my hand. And Orville goes, oh, you found her. I was wondering when you were going to find her. And I said, what? He goes, that thing has been talking nonstop since you got here. And I went, what? He goes, yes, she's been talking. And I said, so you hear them too? And he goes, yes, I hear them too. And I was like, okay. So I found the crystal that was supposed to find me. And actually, she's been with me ever since. And but she's one of my teaching crystals. Because with her rainbows and stuff, love rainbows. Rainbows are signs from the universe for me. So when I saw 3 arch rainbows in this crystal, I was like, the spirit of the crystal is in the rainbow that you see within the crystal. So
that's kind of cool.
Tidbit. That's a tidbit. You've ever see a rainbow in the crystal? You just met the crystal spirit. So it kind of gives you that little honor of, hey, you just met me. Hi, how are you?
I never knew that.
Yeah. So, and so I find it, and so and at this time they've already been like hollering at me, Lena, hurry up! Come on, Lena, hurry up! We got other things to do. Come on, let's go. I'm still upside down in this, trying to get that crystal. Finally got out, and I was like, oh, thank God, you finally found her. Now she'll shush. And so we finally got to get my crystal, and I finally get all my stuff and gather up, and we head back down to, they call it the event place. There's this thing that sits out there. It's got some, it's a big building that sits down from the, the crystal shop and stuff that's there. And as we're walking down, he starts talking about how, how the native chiefs have come in and they were, blessed in this. And all of a sudden I see this tree, and I'm like, I just calling to me again. So I go straight over to that tree and put my hand up on the tree and just kind of touch her. Well, he goes, that's exactly what they did. And I went, I'm not paying attention. I'm literally just, this tree is amazing. It is a pine tree that does not look like a pine tree because it has grown in a very weird way. So it really stands out. Odd things stand out to me. So I'm like looking at this and I'm thinking, wow, this is really neat. How did it grow like this? This is unreal. And he's like, Orville goes, and that is exactly what she just did, is exactly what the Native Americans did when they walked on this property and they got down to this point by the pond. They walked up and put their hand on the tree, like to say hi to the tree spirits. And I'm going, and he goes, and our sponsor, Micah goes, "Yep, I knew she'd be perfect here. She's perfect. You just met Lena. This is Lena right here. This is what she does. She finds the odd one out, and that's where she goes." And so he's telling the story about the tree and telling the story about this and that, and I'm not even paying attention because I'm more in tune into this tree. And then I'll turn and look, and everybody's like gone, and they're starting to walk, and they go, "Hey, come on, this way, over here," and start walking up the path to go up to the. It's on top of this little mountain up there, and it's this circle vortex area. Like it's literally it's some kind of vortex, some kind of energy vortex going on up there, because everything that goes on. He said, "First off, let me just tell you right now, do not lay your cell phones down on the ground. They will discharge completely, and you may lose your stuff on it. Do not put your phones on the ground." What? Where are we at now? Are we like somewhere? Are we about to go on to another planet here? Because that's weird. He goes, "Yeah, well, I'm just telling you right now, for some odd reason up here, the energy is different. There is a weird energy up here." Well, I could feel it. It was drawing me closer. So as we're walking up the path, this is where my experience comes in, where there's, I would probably say about maybe 10 people there with us, along with Orville, and I'm sitting here. I'm the only female in the group, except for, no, there were two in my group. I was the only female with my group. All the rest were guys. And the other couple of groups, there were just a couple of just couples that came in, to crystal dig and go on the tour. So there's about 10 of us, and all of a sudden we're walking up, and I hear this. First, I smell something. I smell this like a floral, and I'm like, "Wait a minute, there's no flowers blooming, and I do not have perfume on." And these people that are, I'm literally trying to knock out things, as I'm going. I'm going, "No, she don't have perfume on. I already smelled her. She does not smell like perfume. Where's this floral smell coming from?" And then I feel it. I feel a presence, and I turn and look around. There's nobody behind me, and it's a big presence. It's not a small presence, because I can tell the difference between someone who's got very big energy and someone who does not. And it's not it's a big energy. And I'm going, okay. And then I feel this like a hand. And if anybody's ever dealt with spirit, paranormal things, sometimes you'll feel a brush in your hair, you'll feel a hand on your shoulder, and nobody's there. I feel this hand on my shoulder, on my left side, and I'm thinking, okay, weird. And I just keep walking, and here, now look to your left. Now this is not out loud. This is not, everybody can hear this. This is in my head, and I'm going, "Oh, great. Okay. The voices have come back. Okay. Nice." No. And I hear, "Just look to your left. Do you see it?" And I'm looking, I'm thinking, what am I seeing? What am I seeing? And I look over, and there's a tree. But it's a sapling tree that has been, it's like it comes up, and it's bent. It is bent 90 degrees. Okay. This is a small sapling tree that comes up, and it bends 90 degrees, pointing, like it's pointing to something. Huh. And I go, okay, the bent tree. Yes, the bent tree. Go look down it. What? Okay, that means I have to get off the path. So I just mosey on real quietly off the path and go to this tree that's bent and look down it. Do you see it? This is all while, and this presence is still standing here, like kind of behind me, but to my left. And I'm going, what is this? This is okay. What? And I'm thinking, okay, I'm looking, and then I see another bent tree. Do you see it? I see it. Yes, I see a bent tree. You follow those, you'll find the village. You'll find safety. And I went, well, And I think, okay. And Orville's getting farther and farther away. So I think, I got to get back to the path. We got to get back to the path. I don't know what are you? And then you know who we are. And I'm going, oh no. So I'm kind of going, this is weird. This is odd. I don't know how to take this, but I'm just going to go ahead and go with it. And in my mind, I'm seeing, I can kind of picture these things coming through, and I'm thinking, this is Bigfoot. This is Sasquatch. This is it. Yes, this is her. This is her. Okay. Floral smell, female. What? And so, just keep going. That's what I hear. Just keep going. Keep going. And then they tell me, okay, she's picking things out. She's like showing me little things to look at. And I'm thinking, wow, this is neat. You see the mushrooms there? Yes. Okay. Look a little farther down. Do you see some more mushrooms? Yes. Those are connected. You are on the mushroom trail. Oh, okay. So that's tracking mushrooms. The whole time we were in, this is a wooded area. So, they're showing me different little things to look at. Do you see the archway? I said, yeah, that's to the nursery, to the new plants. Oh, okay, so you'll see these archways that nature's not, well, I would call them nature, because yes, they do. They're nature protectors. That's what they are here to do. We were supposed to be the nature protectors, but we didn't do a very good job of that, as you can tell. With all the crap that's going on with the earth today, we were not. We were gifted that job as earth protectors, but we kind of screwed it up a little bit. Well, more than a little bit, I could say. That's my own opinion. But they, Bigfoot, Sasquatch, however you want to put it, whichever one you want to use, they're the protectors of the earth, of nature, of everything in the woods. And that's why, kind of made sense to me. I was like, oh, that's why y'all destroy all the equipment on those logging companies and stuff, in the big woods, with the log companies. Yeah, they chop too many trees down. They're going to destroy your equipment, do something bad to the earth, and they're gonna let you know they don't like that. And she's like, oh, you're an earth keeper, you protect the earth. You use what we give, what's given by the earth, for whatever it is, healing or, food, or you don't try to destroy it. No, I don't. So as we're walking up more, she's showing me little things like there's trees that grow. There's like 3 trees on one root ball, like one root section. There'd be like 3 individual trees growing up from this. Well, that's another sign of something. And when we get to the area where there's all this energy, oh, goodness gracious, it's a circle, and there's stacked rocks, big, oh, huge. And yes, they did that too. They stack rocks. Big, huge boulders. I'm talking monstrous boulders stacked on top of each other, just perfectly to where they're not going to topple over. And then there would be archways of rocks, which they've done that too. They built archways of rocks. All these like things that no person, unless you have a crane. Some of these boulders are 200-300 pounds. They gotta be. There's no way I could lift it up. Nobody. It take 4 or 5 people to do it, just to lift some of these boulders that they've got stacked. And it's nothing. Especially when they're gifted too. They have their personal gifts that they can do. but they help you with, a lot of things like teaching you about plants and how to find, safety. Um, they'll even scare off things that are, out there looking for, something that's being a predator, preying on somebody, like a mountain lion. They'll scare them off. Um, don't go looking for them. They'll find you. I mean, that's the way I've always known is, my grandmother always told me, don't ever go looking for them. Just they'll find you when they need to. And when they need to tell, they'll find you. Same with my grandfather. Grandfather always talked about them. But getting up there to this top, and there's Orville's talking about, don't put your phone down, just completely, everything would disappear off your phone, and it would discharge. And he handed each one of us a paper clip, and we're like, okay. He said, now stick your paper clip onto this little side of this. It's a fence that's surrounding some boulders that have been stacked up, an archway that's been stacked up, and some of these other boulders that they have that have been moved by, and this is going to sound really, like one of these boulders is actually rolled uphill. They got it on video. They put deer cams up to like videotape anything that's, taking place out there. I think there's a what's his name?
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
Expedition Unknown.
Yeah. Josh Gates.
Yes. He has actually been up there and did a series up there, or a show on it. And, they've got all those things, but they've got that cordoned off, that one area that's really intense energy going on up there, to the point where I had to back away from it because I was like, wow, this is a lot. This is a lot, because it was making me just vibrate. And I was like, no, I don't want to vibrate. But you take that paperclip, and that paperclip, when you took it off, it's magnetized. A paperclip.
That's kind of cool.
It is. It's really cool. And he's sitting there, he's like, okay, so, this energy that's here, where do y'all think it's coming from? And everybody's thinking, oh, the ground. I'm like, way up there. I'm like, up there. It's coming down. And they're like, he goes, it's like, I'm thinking it's like 300 feet above the area. And he's like, you're about right. I was like, because I can see it. He goes, what do you mean you can see it? I said, did you not see the waves in the air? Like, it looks like waves, like on a hot day. And you can see that it's almost like a wavy film or something, kind of like just radiating off of like concrete or off of blacktop, that
The heat waves.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But it's like that, but it's way up in the air, and it's kind of like it kind of looks like a swirl to me. But it's wavy, and it swirls around and it sparkles, and it's energy vortex. So the only way I can think of it. But it's a energy, it's magnetized, and it creates this magnetic flow that's going on up there. And I'm just like, whoa. But it makes me literally feel like I'm like, my whole body is like standing on one of those vibration plates, like the,
Yeah.
And it's like, it's intense. So it's like, I got to step away for a minute, because that's a lot. And, but then he starts showing us this other thing too, about where, the chiefs want to have ceremony up there, and how there's something that already began that nature. And I'm looking at it. He's sitting there showing us the archway that's made, and I was like, "This isn't an arch." He goes, "Well, yes, it is. It's an arch." I said, "No, it's not. It's not an arch. There's 8 trees right here, all literally coming into the middle, bent inwards like a dome." And he went, "What?" I said, "Yes, Orville, do you not see it? Do you not? I'm standing right in the middle of it. And I'm looking around, I'm looking at these trees, and I'm like, oh my God, they're all bent in." And I start counting each one of the trees, and there's 8 of them. And I was like, there's 8 trees, and they're almost completely, almost like sequenced apart, like perfectly lined apart from each other. I'm looking around like, Orville, look up. Do you not see these bent trees? There's one. He's like, oh my gosh, yes, it is. It is a dome. And I was like, that's why they want to have the ceremonies here. This is a dome. This is going to be like a special spot for them to actually have nature-made dome, like a house, protected for the land. And he was like, yes, that's kind of what they want. They want to do energy work here on the land. I was like, well, yeah, that's already happening. You've already got, which I don't know how to, at that time I was sitting there going, do I tell him that I have a sea female? No, I think I'll wait because all these other people are kind of like, oh yeah, Sasquatch, whatever, And Orville starts telling us his story of his experience face to face with about an 8-9 foot Sasquatch. Face to face with them.
Well, maybe you can give Orville my contact information and see if he'll come on the show.
Oh, he would love it. He would love it because
awesome.
he loves to tell that story because he's had multiple stories, multiple experience, multiple sightings, multiple experiences face to face with them. And he tells it on his tour.
Yeah,
but I will definitely get a hold of Orville for you.
I appreciate that. I have so many questions. I got to catch up just for a second. I have so many questions going on. Okay, so real quick. All right. So you heard I'm going to go all the way back to digging for the crystal.
Okay.
Okay, so you said you could hear the crystal talking to you?
Yeah.
So, was it like a separate voice in your head, or was it a feeling, or,
It comes as both. Kind of comes as both. It's a feeling, but then it's almost like a little. Yeah, it's a voice. It's like an internal dialogue almost.
Okay, because I have one of those with me regularly in my head, so that's why I'm saying. Sometimes I'm like, okay, wait, that's still me. Okay, so a feeling though. What does it feel like? It's
very energetic. It's because crystals, especially quartz crystals, especially the hot springs quartz crystals, and this crystal vein that runs through Arkansas is extremely high vibrational. They're very, very high vibrational. So it's almost like a kind of like electricity almost, I guess, is the way I try to the way I can explain it. I wouldn't say like putting your finger on a light socket. No, it's not like that. It's more or less like tingles, like say, you know what goosebumps feel like, right?
Yeah.
Like when you around and then all of a sudden you get like this massive intense, like it gets really cold or it gets really warm.
Yeah.
It's more like a warm tingle.
Okay.
Not a cold, but more of a warm tingling feeling. Some people can feel the energies of like crystals and stuff and rocks and gems and all that kind of stuff. They can feel the energies off of them, or they can even like see a story, see something that the crystal is trying to tell them or show them. So, which that's like it's a form of it's one of the special clair gifts. Not claircognizance. It's a why did it slip my mind now? It's where you can actually touch clairsentient, where you can touch something and you can feel it. You can feel, but you can also hear a story, like see a storyline play out.
Yeah.
Okay. Because quartz they hold energy. They hold energy.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on a minute.
No, you're fine. No, I was only asking because I was kind of curious about the feeling thing. Okay, so now let's go to the female Sasquatch. Did you actually see her or just hear her?
I just felt her and heard her.
Okay, so you didn't actually get a chance to physically see her.
No, I didn't get to physically see her, and I think the reason why behind that is because I was like, well, why can't I see you? Because she didn't want anybody else to see her.
Okay, because that
there was
takes
like
me
10
to
of
a
us.
whole other section of questioning right there that I've got. Because Okay, so I'm going to hold on to that just for a second. Okay, so I'm going to come back to that one. All right. So when she said this one area was a nursery, was she talking like for plants, or was like they had made a nursery for plants, or were they talking like a nursery for babies? Their babies. You know what I mean?
Both.
Okay. That's what I thought. I just wanted to clarify. I want to make sure I was getting all the information out there and stuff. Okay, so
Yeah, it's both.
okay, so when she comes and tells you, she's talking to you, mentally telepathy. Are you sure it was a Sasquatch, or are you sure maybe it was, I'm going to drop the F word here in a minute, the Fae Folk, because the Fae Folk are famous for messing with us, and I do.
Oh, I know
believe,
they're famous. I know they're
I believe
I've
they have
dealt
a
with Fae folk.
relationship. Yeah, I would believe they have a relationship with Sasquatch. I really do.
Oh, they do.
And I
They do.
think they use the image and everything of Sasquatch a lot of times to either try and frighten us away. I know that there's been accounts of researchers that were going after, seeing something obviously in the woods, at night, and they had red glowing eyes, and they're following this red glowing eyes, and they happened to be off of a cliff. And it was almost to where, there's no way physically this thing could be standing there.
I would not be following anything that's got red glowing eyes and think
No.
it's Sasquatch because their eyes are gold.
Exactly, but again, so there's so many accounts out there, and that's why
Right.
I'm curious whether or not it was the Fae Folk were either trying to project you, because
No.
you're right when
I know
it
the
comes
Fae Folk.
when it comes to crystals, and Arkansas. My theory in Arkansas is that it's more supernatural than people realize due to the amount of the quartz crystals that we have here. I tell everybody, you cannot dig anywhere here without hitting crystal.
Right.
So, it seems like it's, more haunted or per se. But
I mean,
but
the
I do
energy
know
is
when
so
it comes
high.
to the Fae Folk, though, is that no matter what kind of relationship we think we have with them, it's not the relationship that we think we have with them.
Exactly.
They're big tricksters. They're big everything.
Oh, yeah.
I mess with them. That's why I was talking about the coffee cup. They messed with me back, and it was all ill intentional, I think, on my behalf. But there will be little things. It's just weird little things. Now I've got my house protected, so they can't come in. So I made sure of that. But just like the coffee cup thing and all that good stuff, and just and we'll be sitting around the fire pit, and I'll crack jokes about it. And of course, there'll be something outside from the Fae Folk, and I don't trust them. They're not Tinkerbell. Everybody has this idea that
No, they're far from Tinkerbell.
it's not even remotely close. There's
So many different types, though. There's so many different types of them, too.
and none of them like us.
No, they don't.
They do not like us. They're in every ancient civilization in history. They're brought all over the world. They're in every ancient culture. They're mentioned throughout history, even. So, I'm because the more I was listening, that's why I was like, "Did you see it?" That's why I had to ask you that question, because it sounded like it felt like you didn't see it, and this was being spoken about. And then with the nurseries and stuff, and what it was saying to you, it has a lot of faith to it. This has a lot. This encounter is bringing a lot of.
There's a lot more.
vibes.
There's not. I mean, there's not just. I mean, it wasn't just. I know there was Fae out there. You could see. There's little things that you can tell when there's Fae around. But this was the presence, because I sit there and go, wait, okay, who is this? What is this? What is this? And that's when you have to really dive into knowing who you are and being able to determine. That's where you're being able to determine whether or not this is true or not.
Right.
So that's when I go into, okay, dive into the whole higher self, what's good for me, and for my higher self, for me, so that I can move forward. The hand, the female presence, the strong energy. that strong, high vibrational energy. That was when, and it was, what are you? Who are you? Can I trust this? I know there's different energies, I can say. For some odd reason, the Fae, they're not going to answer that question.
No, honestly.
No. And when you can be a lie detector,
Exactly.
This one's like, yes. Very sternly, yes, you can trust me. I've been around, plus it was a presence that I've recognized almost. It's like I recognized this presence before from the times that I used to play in the woods by myself.
Faye. Going right back to it again, Faye. This has Faye vibes all over it. So I had an encounter at Fort Hood. And I've talked about it on numerous other podcast stuff. And this encounter, though, kind of similar to yours. I mean, not in the encounter, but with everything going on, to where it checked off so many boxes, to where I was feeling it was one way. And now, through research and, talking to other folks, it's not what I thought it was initially at first. And it's turned into possibly something else, with a portal probably involved that I would have never thought of at the time. You know what I mean? And it's funny to where how a lot of times our perceptions of an event, as we replay them in our mind, we're replaying it as our perspective of what we were thinking at that time. And that kind of helps portray, not portray, but project, the story out there. This, I will tell you that with the bent trees and the dome and everything, yeah, that screams Sasquatch. But everything else, Lena, I think I think that you probably had the Fae with you your whole entire life, and not realizing it. And
yeah, I know that. I know I have that with me since way little. That's why it's like I know when they're around.
And that might be why I felt familiar to you, because it was the Fae.
Well, I mean,
and I think they're out there more than we realize. I think there's more of them out there than anything going on. Whether they're coming in and out of portals, whether they're doing this or that, or interdimensional, or you know what I mean. There's a whole bunch to them that we don't understand or know. And I think that there's a bigger population of them than anything else. We do get a lot of Sasquatch sightings, but I think the population is so small, the encounters are so very rare. But in the woods, when we go out there, mankind has always had the uncanny valley type of thing when it comes to the woods. It always has. And that's where I think it's because of what does live in the woods, with the Fae and everything else. And that was pretty much, we try to build cities, and, that's what we did. Man did this stuff to, I think, block all that out to a point. And I'm probably not getting the words out right. And somebody's listening, probably going, yeah, hopefully they're picking up what I'm trying to put down. But I think this has got Fae all over it. And it's funny because that's pretty much what you and me started talking about at the Monkey, was about the Fae. And I think you had the Fae communicating with you, and I think it's really cool. They were telling you, I want to know, like, what kind of ceremonies do they do? You know what I mean?
What kind of ceremonies?
Yeah, because you said they were doing with the dome, that for them to do ceremonies.
Oh, that's for the Native Americans. That's for the Native chiefs to do ceremonies.
Okay, I missed that whole entire thing. I thought we were talking about Sasquatch and fairies doing ceremonies there.
Oh no, not Sasquatch and fairies, no. But the Sasquatch and the natives work together.
Yes. They've
worked together for eons.
Well, so when we get to that, though, here's the thing to those, that we have accounts from the First Nation people saying that, yes, they worked together, and no, they didn't. And I'm wondering whether there's some of that confusion lost in translation, because there's lots of talks of, battling giants and stuff over here. The reason why they'd raise their hand up in greeting was to show they had 5 fingers and not 6. And they expect you to raise your hand up to show that you had 5 fingers and not 6. So,
Yeah,
because
'cause
they
the
talked about
giants
the
are
red-headed
6
giants with the
fingers.
6 fingers. Exactly.
Yeah, redhead giant, 6 fingers, 6 toes, and 2 rows of teeth.
Yep.
Yeah,
So,
I know about the red giants, and I know about the Sasquatch. It's 5 fingers.
yeah. So, like I said, there's
Yeah.
so many, you hear so many different stories when it comes to, like they say, that Sasquatch would kidnap, kids and women, and then Sasquatch would like protect them, and then Sasquatch would like kidnap people females so they could mate. I mean, there's so much when it comes to and trying to separate it. And I just talked to a guy. I remember the Blackfoot tribe Broad. He was up in northern Montana. And that episode was really great breakdown of his tribes, just his tribes alone, not everybody else, but just his tribes alone, on their encounters and their beliefs and what they, when it comes to Sasquatch. And some of it was, positive and some was not.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they don't. I mean, I do know. I mean, that's like one thing. Like my grandparents that lived in Hot Springs. My grandmother's half-blood Cherokee. My grandfather was Choctaw. And, Pop would always work out in the woods, work out in the yard, in the garden, and all that kind of stuff. Mom was a teacher. He was on the railroad, so he saw a lot of things. But when I was a kid, I'd always want to go play in the woods instead of just in the yard. And Mom would, say, okay, well, you can go play in the woods, but just be careful. Be aware. Me, I pay attention to detail. It's like my head's always on a swivel unless I get really in tune to something. That's the ADHD thing that's in me, I guess, is what they call it, where I hyperfixate on something.
Well, I wouldn't say. I think I do the same thing. I think everybody does. I mean, my kids do. I mean.
There's hyperfixation and there's hyperactivity, and women are. Yeah, well, I can go down the whole. That's a whole nother little different.
That's a whole nother podcast.
Oh, another podcast of ADHD and how it affects children and people these days. No, but no, it's as far as like the Fae, and the and experiences of other things that were not Fae. Me being, able to go in the woods, no big problem. I don't have problems camping, problems with wood stuff, things like that, because I always feel like there's something around me all the time. I've been told many times, like, you're either one highly protected or, you've got these, some people call them angels, I think out in nature, nature spirits, it's kind of like, you can feel things watching you. I mean, I don't know, a lot of people, they have tuned that out completely, but there are times where you can actually feel things watching you. Whether it's a good feeling or a bad feeling, it depends, on how you take things. But like that day, it was, what is this? This is big. And growing up and knowing, because I've dealt with different types of Fae over my lifetime. This was when you ask to kind of see them and they can see a picture of them, how to know. It was just an internal, like, yes, this is who I am. This is what I am. Okay, why are you not showing yourself? Because not want everybody to see. Because they can. I mean, that's one thing that I've actually kind of looked into. Is like, do they always make themselves present? And how in the world do they go from? How can they go from someone seeing them running through the woods or seeing them, and then they go up and they go after them to see footsteps completely end. Where did they go? And that's when I was like, well, what happens when you just disappear?
Portals.
Mortal,
Portals.
multi-dimensional
They're
portals.
going through
Exactly.
portals.
Exactly. Going through portals, multi-dimensional.
See,
So I'm
that's the
sitting here
fun thing
thinking,
about doing the show, though, is you get a chance to theorize because, because I don't have all the answers. I really don't. And,
me neither.
and I'm the firm believer in there's no such thing as an expert in this field. And if any, because, we don't have a Sasquatch in the garage that we're looking at. There's not a member of the Fae Folk sitting on my coffee table looking at me going, dude, you got it all wrong. I don't have a ghost, jumping over and have a conversation with me to tell me what it is. And, and shadow people to me are cowards. I call them peeping toms because every time they see you seeing them, they run away. So, they're obviously not going to sit down and have a conversation with me. So it's just kind of theorizing right now until our science, or we can go backwards to understand, if that makes sense, for science can catch up to be able to help us understand what's going on in the paranormal world. And I think that science and supernatural and the paranormal can work hand in hand. And if you think about our cell phones today, if we were to go back 150 years ago with a lighter and a cell phone and such, we would have magic. You know what I mean? It'd be magic to them because it's technology that doesn't exist.
Right.
Their time frame. So I think a lot of that magic, that we deal with now, and some of this is possibly technology that we don't understand, coming in from these other realms. And my hope is that it's actually just magic, because I don't want to live in a world without magic.
Magic and dreams.
So it's what makes the world a happy place, I think.
That's what makes creating, having creativity and imagination.
Okay, so
right.
let me go all the way back let me take you back to the story, and I apologize. It's kind of funny we start talking about this stuff when we start having technology issues here. So we're gonna wrap this up real quick and bring it in for a landing, and we're gonna get a part 2 scheduled up because I want to go into some of the pictures and stuff that you've taken, that you do have, and the little thing as well that you have with you all the time. I don't want to give that away. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and bring it to a landing, though, since we're having technical difficulties over here. Is that okay?
Sounds good.
Okay, Lena, thank you very much. I am going to get you scheduled for part 2, though. So
awesome.
that'll be very soon, so that way everything's so fresh in your mind. But I do want to thank everybody for listening to another episode of the Drunken Cryptids. Thank you for supporting you guys. Hey, we won an award last year. We've got big news coming up. I was cast to be in a horror movie, so that'll start being filmed sometime this year, actually next month. So, yeah, pretty cool, exciting stuff happening for you guys. And until next time, y'all stay safe out there.